So hello everyone, welcome to this video. So today I'm going to share with you my flip through of the Kinbor journal because I used Kinbor journal from 2022 to 2023 and I saw this journal again and I figured I should make a review on the quality of the notebook because this is often compared with Hobonichi Techo and I want to share my thoughts on the Kinbor journal, if it's really good or if it's worth the price, because this notebook is actually pretty cheap. I got this for like 250 pesos, so that's like around $5 or more, like $5 to $6. And for that price, I had wonderful experience using this notebook, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So let's now begin with the flip through. So this is the first entry I made in this journal, and for this entry and for most of the entries here I used a fountain pen, and my fountain pen is the Kaweco Sport fine nib, and I used the Diamond Macassar ink for this one. So Diamond Macassar is brown. I chose brown instead of black because I don't want the color of the entries to be as intense as like black, and I wanted it to be like simple, and I wanted also the color to match with the design and the color of most of my stickers. So I wanted it to be like similar to the colors of brown and green, because most of the stickers I have are on that like color palette or color scheme. So by the way, this is the first entry, and I just used like green stickers and washi tapes. For this one, I used the Zebra mild liner. They released more colors last 2022, and I used this one. The color is called olive, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the first entry. As you can see, like the thing with the Kinbor journal is that the color of the paper is white compared with Hobonichi, which is a little yellow. Let me show you, because I actually have the Hobonichi Weeks, and the color of the paper of the Hobonichi Weeks is like different. This one is more yellow compared to the Kinbor journal, which is like more white. So yeah, that's one of the difference between the two, the color of the paper. So if you're into like the yellowish one, you could try the Hobonichi Techo, but if you're more into white, yeah, this is something to keep in mind. And me personally, when it comes to journal entries, I like the color of my paper to be white, just so I could see like the true color of the other products that I use. So for this one, I want to see the real color of the green and the brown, and I feel like I could achieve that when I used a white paper. So that's the first entry. The second entry, so I'll just like select some entries I want to show you. That's why there are like tabs here. So the next entry that I want to share is this one. So I used again the same color of ink and the same fountain pen, and for this one I used the brush pens. I used the Tombow brush pens. It's like they have this dual brush pen, the one with gray and the one with black, and the paper is still okay. It looks okay with the this one. I mean, the thing with Kinbor journal is the paper is not so smooth. So when you use something like this, like it looks matte. It looks matte. So sorry for that. It looks matte. So the thing with the ano kasi with the Hobonichi, when you use like the brush pen, it's not as matte as compared to this one. So let me show you. So for example, I'll be showing you the entry I wrote on my Hobonichi Weeks. And I used the same brush pen. And as you can see, like, like there's shine. There's like shine on this like words. There's a shine. But when you use the Kinbor, there is no shine. It's very matte. So I guess one of the reasons is because the paper of the Kinbor is rougher compared to this one, which is very smooth. So that's one of the difference when you're using brush pen. So that's something that you might like keep in mind, especially if you're very particular with the effect that you're after when you're using brush pens. So are you someone who wants to make the like brush pen look matte, or if you're someone who likes it with the little shine? So that's it. So the next entry that I'll be showing you is this. This is one of my favorite entries because I was very intentional with the decoration of this one. I wanted it to follow a specific design. And so I really chose the decorations that I would add here. And as you can see, the color of the ink perfectly matched with the color of the decorations. So by the way, I used some like old papers here and stamps and stickers and washi tape. So I used for this one a regular stamp pad, like the one that's available on bookstores. And as you can see, uh, the stamp looked really good, and there's no smudging. Again, I guess it's because of the paper, because the paper is not smooth and like the smudging is minimal. So for this NG, as you can see, I use different decorations, mostly stickers from like local sellers available on Shopee. Actually, if you're from the Philippines and if you're looking for a place to buy your stickers and washi tapes, there are a lot of local sellers selling on Shopee, though the temptation to overspend is there. So I guess one tip, if you're like beginning with journaling and you're overwhelmed with a lot of options, is to really identify the design or the aesthetic that you're after. By the way, for this one, uh, for this too, sorry, I used my fine liner. I used the zebra mad liner, not fine liner but mad liner, and I used the fine tip. For this one though, I used uh, uh, fine liner. I used a fine liner to trace the words. So let me just get the product that I use for this specific thing. So I wait, yeah, this one. I use this. This is the Faber-Castell Echo Pigment, and I used it like to like this one to line the titles. So yeah, this is an entry on the like album I was into and the book I was reading back then. So I wrote this around November of 2022, by the way. Next we have, let me just think, yeah, where's the next entry? Yeah, this one is the next entry. So I enjoyed using this, or I enjoyed doing this. And one particular thing I like about this specific spread is this one. I used different materials here, and as you can see, the thing with Kinbor journal is that it works really well with different materials. So I used here markers. I can't remember the specific markers that I used, but I remember this one is the zebra mag liner for the like the middle yellow and the gray shadow. And I forgot this one. I guess I still use the same zebra mag liner, the dark brown, and this one I forgot what I used. But as you can see, you can layer colors and they still look okay with the Kinbor paper. So this one is one entry that I made. It's very simple, like few stickers and washi tape, but the highlight is this one. I have is this. So I also use the Kinbor journal for my ephemera, and this one or this ephemera are boss tickets, and it's okay naman. Like I use different ephemera as well. Later I'll be showing you like a whole spread with ephemera, and the Kinbor journal was able to handle the heaviness or the weight of the ephemera that I used for that specific entry. So next is I have this. So this one I use the um, marker, like the fine tip marker, and as you can see, The black is very intense compared to brown. Like the brown one is like this, and this one is very intense. I mean, I used fine liner here, but you can see, like, because the paper is white and the color is very intense, like you can really see it, and I don't want that on my previous entries. And also for this one, I used a different ink. I did not use Makassar here. This one is blue, and I used, I think, Oxford Blue by Diamine. So still good. I mean, still muted compared to black, if that's the right term. If muted is even the right term, but it's not as intense as black, which I like. Then I also used the Kinbor journal for painting, and I used gouache paint for this one. I don't have the gouache paint with me anymore, but I used the Himi gouache. It's a cheap gouache. Like you can also get it from Shopee and Amazon. I think they're also selling that. And I used this one to paint. Like I used that one to paint this. This is a cover of one of the albums I was listening to like months ago or years ago. This is Pulp Second, a different class, by the way. Not second class, but a different class. And yeah, I wasn't really into making it as realistic as possible. I just drew it because again the space is not like big. So this one I used the different colored pens that I have. I still have those colored pens, by the way. So yeah, this is the Enchi. Looks really okay. It looks really nice. Then I tried if the paper could handle two paints on the same, like, back to back, and I was surprised because, well, it was really good, and the parang color naman did not, like, you cannot see the color here. So yeah, this is another entry I made, or another spread I made using gouache paints. So I painted albums. There was a time I was really into painting albums, and yeah, okay naman siya. But you can see the intensity of the color, which I like because again the paper is white. And this one, yeah, this one I also like. For this one, I did not use paint but used colored pens. This one is also cool. I tried to combine Bob Dylan and Vincent Van Gogh, but it wasn't successful. So this one is an entry. I was trying to recreate Lightfoot, Gordon Lightfoot's Gold's Gold album, and combining it with the color of like Lightfoot on his first album, but it did not materialize, as you can see. So I also have other entries here, like this one. This one is not my best entry, and I realized also when I made this entry that the pen that you're using matters, because as you can see here, like where you can see the entries on the next page. For this one, I use the Twisby Echo. I'm not sure if it's because of the nib size, that's why it's like showing, but when using Kinbor journal, I think that's something to keep in mind as well, the nib size, because sometimes when the nib is so thick, you can see like the entries on the next page or on the previous page, which is really not the best, especially if you're using a color like this one. This is Diamine Cherry Sunburst, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like orange, copper color, and like the effect is not really good. So this one is, I used Mad Liner to do this entry, and like I painted this, not painted it, but yeah, as you can see, it's good naman. Like the color again is like its true color because the paper is white. I keep on repeating that, but that's one of the best thing I like about, or that's actually the best thing I like about Kinbor Journal. It's the color of the paper, and because the color is white, like you can really see the intensity of the colors you're using. So this one is a line from a Bob Dylan song, used different colors of Mad Liner, and it looks okay, it looks fine. But this one is what I like. I used a combination of mad liners for this one and colored pens. So I just like layer colored pens, and the overall look is really nice. So I tried to recreate the album cover of Bring It All Back Home, but instead of painting it or instead of using my liners, I tried to make it like as mixed media as possible, if that's the right term. So I used for the cover, because the cover is grid like this one, I want it to be plain. So instead, I used the tickets. As you can see, that these are tickets. I used tickets as the background and then painted it with white and black for the border. And then I tried to paint and tried to use different stickers and different like mad liners, not mad liners, but fine liners to recreate this album cover. So if you're familiar with the album cover of Bringing It All Back Home, I tried to retain some elements, like the elements, like the persons in that album cover, but instead replaced it with like stickers, like for their faces. I drew the face of Bob Dylan here, and I put sticker, a happy face sticker, to replace the face of the girl in the album cover. And then her hands, I used this sticker, and Bob Dylan was holding a cat in that album cover, and I used this to represent the cat. And yeah, so this is my version of Bringing It All Back Home. And instead of using or writing the same word, I just used currency cow, because there's a song from that album that had these words, currency cow. So yeah. Then this one is infidels. I try to recreate infidels, but this one is more subtle. Like instead of doing an all-out mixed media for this one, I tried to just like make it minimal, like drew his face, like write some lines from that album. Is this from like, if I forgot if the lines from this is I know the lines from this are from this album, but I still used it here just like to make it like this. So this is the entry. Then I also tried using colored pencils and like mad liners for experimenting, because I wanted to see if you're doing an all out sketch on this notebook, if it's really good. And it is okay naman, like as you can see. And you also have this. This is a combination of crayons, colored pencils, and paint. So not the best actually. And then this one, I used colored pens for this. I like this one is like I was checking Google Maps for random places, and I drew this. I forgot where this place specifically is located. I just drew it from like Google Map, the street view on Google Map. So yeah, that's one nice exercise, especially if you're like if you can't go out and you want to draw places, you can look for random places on Street View, so Google Map. This one is Paris, but I wasn't really the best when it comes to perspective, so it's not the best. This one is like I tried to recreate a room. Well, I tried to draw a room and add my own decorations. Like I wanted also back then to like check if using mad liners, then using white gel pen on top is a great idea. And as you can see, it wasn't, because like you can see, it's not the best. That's the last entries, or that's the last of the entries I have here, and I still have like remaining pages. So yeah, I still have some remaining pages. So I think I'll just like keep this as is and not add more pages. So that's it, by the way. Thank you so much for watching this video.